because I really disliked the man that I was with. And after years of having to put up with him, I was like, this child, I would hate this child. I feel bad, but I feel nothing for him.
This is Eliza. She's 23.
Did the abortion make you feel quite sad? Was it like a bad memory for you?
And this is me.
It was actually, it kind of brought me down like crazy for a little bit because I was like, damn it, another one. And like it feels ugly saying it like that, but it felt like another child that I had to give up, but still it's not the right time for him. I might be depressed. I might do drugs. Who knows what I'll do? Maybe I'll abandon it. Like I could tell I wasn't ready still.
Last year, Eliza carried out her own abortion, and a report by the University of Texas suggests that she's not alone. They reckon between 100 and 200,000 women in the state have done it too. Although there's no proven link, many think the legal situation here isn't helping. In 2013, a law was passed in Texas that's been pretty controversial. It's known as House Bill 2, or HB2, or sometimes even SB2. The lawmakers say that it's supposed to make abortion safer for women. But other people say that the changes are actually quite unnecessary and even restricting people's access to abortions. For many clinics, meeting the requirements of the bill is just too costly, and so far nearly half the clinics in Texas have had to close since HB2 came in. It's a hot topic right now because this month the Supreme Court will decide whether to keep the law or scrap it. So Eliza lives in El Paso, Texas, and a year ago she crossed the border to this place, Juarez in Mexico, to buy a pill that's illegal without a prescription in the United States. It's usually used for stomach ulcers or miscarriages. But Eliza used that pill, called misoprostol, to carry out her own abortion. She offered to take me back to where she bought it. Does this feel weird for you, going back?
Going back now? I don't
Like
have to
doing
do
this
anything.
again?
No.
No.
You go straight all the way down.
There's loads of pharmacies.
Yes.
Did you know which one you were going to go into?
The first one. You cross the bridge, it's a small little Mexican city, and basically the rules there are so lax that you can get away with anything. There's a lot of dedicated dentists, podiatrists.
It's not a prescription drug in Mexico, you can just buy it. And so the first clinic I walked into happily sold me the drug for just $30, no questions asked. And the others would have done the same.
So
that was pretty easy.
I'm hungry. You take those pills underneath your tongue, and you walk around for a little bit. 30 minutes with the walking, and then 20 minutes sitting down to eat. It started. I felt the pain. It's a constant throbbing ache. And then within about 5 to 6 hours, it starts to go away, and then the heavier bleeding starts.
Misoprostol, when it's self-administered for abortions, can be really dangerous. Women might not know how far along they are, and internet forums suggest different doses, but that's certainly not medical advice. Despite the dangers, it's got one strong appeal for some.
It's so cheap compared to $500, and you can take this up to 6 months along, which is...
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, you can.
You can't take it 6 months.
Yes, you can. Your body will be in pain. You will reject a larger fetus, and you will have to go to an emergency room, but it will give you an abortion.
But 6 months is beyond the 22.
Oh yeah, but you can do it.
You're reading stuff on forums, and then you're kind of self-medicating. There's no instructions?
No.
There's nothing. So
That's-
even if it was for stomach ulcer,
You would
how
have
would you
to
know?
go. That's how come these are for prescriptions. You have to have a prescription with this.
But I didn't have a prescription.
Exactly. That's very nerve-wracking here. Very nerve-wracking. The fact that you can purchase anything you need without help. That's how come I think a lot of people probably do get hurt. I don't think it's right.
But it's useful.
It's so useful. I was going to use that exact word right now, actually. It's useful because I knew what I was doing because I researched it so heavily. But if a girl didn't know and she just decided to take the whole lot because, the more would be effective, that's dangerous.
Tell me the main reasons then you walked over this border.
The people, the pro-lifers, the protesters, and the people who judge you, maybe in the clinics as well, and also money. I think it's the Catholic thing. Also, it's just the law. Abortions are heavily regulated. That's it. And honestly, I don't think they should be regulated. If somebody has a choice they can make to go in somewhere, then they should be able to do that. If you guys have that opportunity to have free access to the health care and abortions, I feel like we should have the same thing.
When Eliza talks about going to buy the pills, she seems really matter-of-fact about it, but actually it's not a very nice thing to do. Obviously there's the pain and the bleeding that she talked about, and also there's border control here, and the fact that it's just not very easy to talk about abortion here in Texas.
First time she told me, it was over the phone, and she was just apologizing and crying. And I told her not to worry, just to come home. Don't worry about it, we'll take care of everything. The only thing I could think of is this guy being on top of my daughter.
Oh, Mom! This is Cindy, Eliza's mum.
She did her research to a point, but we didn't know it was gonna work that fast. She turned pale on me. I mean, white. And I'm like, give her a tequila. I'm like, I go, come on, let's do this, let's drink this, let's get back across. Because we were pretty far out. I prayed a lot.
What did you pray for?
That she wouldn't die on me. She wouldn't bleed out. I just didn't want her to bleed out. I know she didn't want the child.
Yeah.
And she was really sad. She cried a lot. I know she was depressed.
Oh, yeah, I was really depressed.
But I didn't want her to do nothing else stupid, you know? I prayed.
Do you get sad?
Yeah, I get sad.
Yeah, she does. My mom was. You okay, mommy?
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
So her little sister's seen all this too, and it's just sad. It's sad to see all this, and you don't want to see your kids in pain. No. You don't want to see them suffer. Sometimes you just want to get them and say, oh, what are you doing?
What did you do?
Stop doing this. Stop doing this. Please, you're worrying me.
For Eliza, everything apparently went okay. But for others, the story can be quite different. I met this doctor in El Paso. She didn't want to go on camera because she was too afraid of being targeted, professionally and personally.
Certainly the more dire cases that we've seen is patients getting the medication and not knowing how far along they were. One of the cases, she had such extensive bleeding that she was really concerned. That, in fact, her words were, "I had so much bleeding, I thought I was going to die." So she had already ruptured her uterus. She could have bled into the abdomen and you could have overwhelming infection. Perhaps she came at the right time, but she ended up getting a hysterectomy because that injury couldn't be put together. When we asked them why, why couldn't you just come here and have a safe procedure? They thought it was illegal here in the state of Texas, even though they lived here. Using medication definitely puts women in a position of having an unsafe outcome. I feel very, sorry. Maybe this has affected me, but I never really considered it.
When you speak to a doctor who starts crying because she's so frustrated with her options for treating patients who need abortions, you start to realise this isn't a story about one woman who crossed a bridge to buy a pill to bring on her own abortion. So some people are worried that the closure of clinics in Texas is going to drive more people to carry out their own abortions. So I'm coming to meet a group of people who are protesting against abortions to ask them what they think about that. Why is Mary up here?
We have her here because she's pregnant, she's carrying, Jesus Christ, our Savior.
Gabriela is the campaign director at 40 Days for Life.
If we would use her as an example to trust God completely and fully, women wouldn't experience the pain of abortion.
But they're not all carrying the Son of God.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit different.
We're all carrying, I'm not bringing it. I think we can carry a potential leader. We can carry the next person that will love you for the rest of your life.
I mean, I do think that abortion should be illegal.
If a woman sees that abortion is illegal, then I'm not going to do something illegal because it's so controversial. It's like, well, people say, well, do you want women dying all over the place with their self-induced abortions? Well, we haven't seen that happen.
We know of cases where people have had catastrophic bleeding, ruptured uteruses, they've come in extreme pain.
So that it's dangerous. This is happening.
Yes, I mean, if it's happening, we don't hear reports of it.
But we just talked about that report that indicated there might be like around 200,000.
If that's the case, I'd like to see something that goes deeper, that asks the right questions.
Some people are worried that clinics closing is driving women to carry out self-abortions. What do you think?
I think, it's still a woman's choice, to do that. I don't think that pressure, that responsibility should be shifted towards people that are either protesting or praying outside.
The main thing about meeting Gabriella was it was quite hard to get her to accept that people were carrying out their own abortions. For them, it was all about gently approaching women and giving them choice, closing down these clinics for the safety of women, trying to make abortion safer. They say it is empowering women. This is one of the remaining 2 clinics in El Paso that might face closure if HB2 remains.
I've always believed in a woman's right to choose. We see patients who have tried to do the process themselves.
How often do you see women coming in who've gone through that?
In a month, I would probably see maybe 4 that actually tell you. If they don't have to disclose it, they don't want to be judged. But even if a doctor writes for misoprostol for a miscarriage, the pharmacies are very reluctant to even fill it. The pharmacist has a right to dispense medication according to their beliefs. And if they think it's not for a miscarriage, it's for an abortion. And I don't do that.
But if a doctor's written a prescription for medicine that a person needs,
The pharmacy can override that.
Is it other drugs they do it with, or is this kind of a key one?
This is a key one.
Obviously, HB2 is in discussion at the moment in the Supreme Court. Do you think there are quite big ramifications for clinics like this one if it's upheld?
Yeah, I do. I think we'll all close if it's upheld.
You really think they'll all close?
It will. Mm-hmm.
Why? Why not just meet the regulations?
Well, we can try, but to the tune of $3 to $4 million.
Abortion is a big contentious issue for everyone involved. If clinics like this continue to close, how many more women are going to take matters into their own hands?
When it's just a simple coming and going, this is all it is. You come, you buy, you purchase, you leave. And that's it. And then you go home and you wait. Very easy.